So I think so many people do this in life. They're going down life and then they just go where they think they should go. What percent of time, how much regret do you see old people having for what they didn't do or what they like?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Welcome to Miami. Whatever comes to my mind at that moment. So I think so many people do this in life. They're going down life and then they just go where they think they should go. What percent of time, how much regret do you see old people having for what they didn't do or what they like?
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
They woulda, shoulda, right?
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how I think so many people go all over. I think the biggest thing is starting with a vision and understanding like how to go from A to Z. I think the second one is understanding purpose. And that's really the why you're going to go there. If I'm going to go there for a job, or I'm going to go visit family, I'm going to go. And then the third thing is I think, would you say GPS? I would say that's the easiest one. Would you guys agree? Again, from A to Z?
Yeah.
So I look at GPS is my mentors. So I find that most people have two belief systems, either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And Carol Dweck's done a lot of stuff on growth mindset and how do we look outside of, how do we take our ego, throw it out the window, and see from different people's perspectives so we can grow. And I find that so many people, definitely in the sports industry, at least in entertainment, you probably saw in LA, is they want to be right all the time.
Yeah.
I'm right, you're wrong. And they're right. It just doesn't serve the outcome they want to create. So I find these are the two biggest things that I start playing with, and how do I really understand from my vision? My vision has changed over my whole life. When I was younger, I wanted this, and I changed this, and we have these different changes, and so how do we really commit? I think vision and purpose, that's really easy to understand the content. Then it's the mission, which really can help out with the goals, the mentors, and the steps to get there. I think it's very simple. And then you have easy, and you have hard. So, like if you go to the bathroom right now, and it's all the way down the hall, what do you have to do? What's the first step?
The first step.
What's the first step?
The first step. Well, actually, it's the intention.
Okay, so create the intention, like I have to go to the bathroom, right? Like the mind, like, and then what's the second step?
The communication and then the mechanical body.
Yeah. So it's interesting how a lot of time we don't put the processes together. We don't put the step by step by step. We just go, oh, we go do this, but we don't know how we process stuff.
Yeah.
So I find that the processes with kids or with a lot of adults today, because we've never been taught how to process and how to think, like, oh, I got an A, so I'm good. So it's not really going back through the process. It's just, let's go celebrate, or I graduated here, or I got a promotion. But why did you get that promotion? Like, what relationship did you build? How did you get there? And so I think it can either be, it's very easy for you to go to the bathroom, just step up and go. But if you're a paraplegic, it'd be very hard. So I think yesterday I was talking to one of my buddy's wives, and she's going through all this stuff, and she was like, I'm going through this, and it's very hard. And I was talking to her about, do you want to have regret and be a victim, or do you want to be at peace with yourself and just enjoy and love your kids? I go, would you, if you had two choices right now, your kids are super hungry, would you feed your kids, or would you dwell over your crap that you're going through? She's like, feed my kids. I'm like, okay, so why don't you do that for every situation? You get to choose on what you want. So it's interesting how people choose their belief system, their mindset, what they do, their actions. And I think after the goals and everything else, there's two other things that it really gets hard. The team in life is challenging to build. It's very by how you live, how people align, how Jen and I align with what we want to create, how we want to do it. I find a lot of people today in the corporate world, they're not basing their hiring on who the people are being, they're basing their hiring on what they can produce. So you might be an asshole, but you can get the job done. But how does that create a culture of crap versus You know, I mean, like at the end of the day, you get to choose on, and so I find that we go off of our doingness rather than who we're being. We can dive a little bit into that. And the last one is commitment. And how do we commit and follow through? So we have, on one side, we have our feelings and our circumstances that always come up. That's like a guaranteed, like stuff coming up. Or we have our vision, our purpose.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Okay. You're intuitive and aware. You're compassionate and caring. You have a great heart. You're priceless. You're fun. You're supportive. You're expansive and you're open. And you're very strong.
Definitely this connection, and I think that this connection will maintain because we went deep right away. So I think that we're definitely going to keep in touch. So I'd say the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I second that. So I really wish I would have had more time to be able to get to know the rest of y'all. So because I feel like there's just some, what y'all are about is so much a part of my heart. And everybody that's here, I'm sure feels the same way. And so I would really like a chance to get to know people better, you know, everybody that's here, because this is a room filled with a lot of powerful people that, we have a lot more influence than we realize individually. And then when we're together as a team, we can change the world truly.
That's what we're doing, we're building our team.
Yeah, and so I feel like today was really good. I think that there's been a lot of camaraderie created, so that when we come back in June, if we can come back, this is a good foundation. So I'm very, very curious to learn more.
I got over 10,000 emails from 12 different countries of kids saying, I need you to come to my school, please help me, I'm being bullied. So there's three categories. I'm being bullied. I wish you were in my school when I was a kid, so back in the day, so that you could support me and help me. Or the parents were emailing saying my kids are being bullied. And so I was looking at that and I'm like, this isn't the root of the problem. Like, how do we get to the root and solve it? And so we went from bullying stuff to mentorship to emotional intelligence side of it. And I find the emotional intelligence side is how do we recognize and understand ourselves better so that we can understand others. So has anybody ever gotten pissed off in here by chance? Yeah. Can you remember one time, like somebody that, like one instance? You remember? You don't have to tell me. Don't worry about telling me. So did that person piss you off, or did you let yourself get pissed?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's interesting on how, for instance, I'll take accountability for everything. So when somebody does an action, to me, there's two models that I've seen in America, and either right or wrong, just whatever you want. One is AA, where it's like Alcohol Anonymous, for instance, or NA, where it's I'm Daniel, I'm an addict. So that's the concept of giving your power up to the addiction and letting that kind of be there. Ours is my life, my power. So it's my life, and I'm gonna take my power and accountability. Now, it's much harder, I believe, to take the accountability and take the power sometimes when from 0 to 5 we're told, like 0 to 2 we're told to stand up and talk, and then from 2 to 22 we're told to sit down, be quiet, and look at the back of somebody's head and answer A, B, C, or D, and you're either wrong or right. And for some reason, did you guys ever notice it's A, B, C, D, and then F?
Yeah.
Where's E? Like, I don't know, this is interesting. So they can't even spell in schools. I'm like,
Can't even follow the alphabet.
I'm like, hold on, you guys told me the alphabet was A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's interesting to be able to see, and then 22, we're told to now stand up and be productive, loving citizens, involve a family, and, be part of the community. You what?
I said balance a checkbook and try to,
Yeah.
have your own, stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, know about
No,
credit,
no.
and you're like,
Yeah.
I've never been taught about credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do everything you haven't been taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Keep a job for like
Right.
so long, and so it's interesting that I find it's like we're working with a lot of vets over the last few years in law enforcement. I find when the vets get out of war, my buddies come back and they have no purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a lot with military, with law enforcement too. They get out of the service. A lot of law enforcement, they die quicker if they don't do something because they lost their purpose or their mission. So I find, how do we really increase that, and how do we help people from a younger age understand themselves with the emotional intelligence side? And if we can understand, have you heard the saying, you can't love somebody unless you love yourself?
Right.
So I think before loving somebody, I think the thing is understanding yourself. So how do we understand ourselves at the root, and then how do we recognize that anger, frustration? Like anxiety is the same feeling in our body as, let's say, excitement. But one comes from like love and peace, and one comes from fear and loss. So how do we change our story in our mind to be able to get us the results we want? So we find when we do this with kids in a juvenile hall, we've taken it from 80% to less than 25% re-arrest rate over the last 3 years. And what I find is these kids in juvenile halls, 80% of them get re-arrested within 18 months. Now, they have a thing called aftercare. It's so amazing. For 30 days, you get a mentor. Oh, how can I help you for 1 hour a day or 1 hour a week, right? Like, it's complete crap. For 30 days. Like, who's going to become successful in 30 days? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, your nurses, how long do they go to school for? You know, your doctors, you know, I mean, it's insane. So we have a thing called Forever Care. So if you ever need us forever, you can call one of the mentors that you've connected with. And so how do we get that consistency? And I find that a lot of training companies, they'll do a day or 2 days or 3 days or a week training, and then they go, see you later, go have fun, good luck. And so how do we create that family in different cities and different counties that then you guys meet, and instead of just paying somebody necessarily to help coach you, you have a team that is building, you're building your core team that is either at your level or maybe above your level from where the EQ is, and they've learned more, and you can grow together. So we're looking at how do we build our teams in different cities to create results. The other thing is that at Nova Southeast University, we've dropped the dropout or transfer rate from about 25% of freshmen to less than 3% in the last 3 years. And I find that a lot of colleges, kids are dropping out. And a lot of universities, it's like, you know, maybe 40%, 30% 4-year graduation. It's more like 4, 5, 6, 7 year graduation, which is insane because then they're 100,000 in debt or 50 grand in debt. How long is it gonna take you to pay it off? It's nuts. I mean, you're when are your kids going to college?
Well, Caleb's went to the Air Force because they would pay for college.
Huge.
Yeah, Rebecca will be next year, and she's probably gonna put it off.
It's expensive.
Because of yeah.
There's a thing called Mission U, depending on what she's doing. It's a 1-year college now. Gary Vee is a part of it, and they guarantee jobs. And it's pretty interesting to see what some of the system is doing. So I believe that in the next 20 years, everybody's going to go to pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, and it's going to be AR, VR, AI stuff. So you're going to walk in, it's going to know your love languages, your learning styles, your connection points, what you ate the night before, how much sleep you got, all that stuff. And because in class right now, let's say there's 30 kids, there's 5 slow, 5 fast, 20 in the middle. And so how does one teach those kids?